Hello, one. Hello, all. Welcome to the post Labor Day edition of Show Business. Joining me, I'm CP. Joining me, as always, is Peter from Bearded Movie Guy. Peter.
I'm in labor. Sorry.
I don't know why that joke. So many people make that joke. It's not that type of labor. It's
It's Labor
working
Day.
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's funny is both of our countries celebrate it on the same day. I think
On the same day, which is like we hardly celebrate anything on the same day, like Christmas and like that's about it. Like all the other holidays, like we celebrate on different. Maybe Easter, like probably Easter and stuff.
Oh yeah,
but,
all the religious
like,
holidays probably.
but, like Thanksgiving, we have in October. You guys have in November. It's like this weird.
Well, we're
thing.
thankful for different things. That's why.
Yeah. Gun control and healthcare and I don't know. So I don't know what you guys are thankful for exactly, but it's okay.
Well, apparently, we're thankful to not have to go to the movie theater because
Wow.
Well, I'll start really quickly with just yesterday's number. And the top movie yesterday pulled in 3.75 million. And that is not strong at all.
No, that is really weak.
And what's funny is the big movie that opened over the course of the weekend was Morgan. And there's no typo.
It's not there.
It didn't crack the top 10.
Something called Hell or High Water was number 10.
That
I've never even seen a trailer for it yet.
So let me tell you about that. That stars Chris Pine.
Oh, really?
And apparently, it's kind of okay, and it's starting to get steam because of its goodness.
Yeah,
and
mouth and stuff.
Right. So hopefully, it gets some more releases or expanded to more theaters because it's doing better than things like Morgan. Morgan did worse than Ghostbusters over the course of the weekend. I guess I can go to the actual weekend. Where are you?
Because it's legit. That's crazy.
Do I have it here?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there it is. It's. I mean, even for the weekend, 18 million.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's good for Don't Breathe. I'm happy for Don't Breathe.
I'm happy for Suicide Squad.
Well.
Suicide Squad, as we speak, is crossing 300 million. So there's that.
I heard it was the 15th highest grossing superhero movie of all time or something like that.
Got a ways to go.
So it's like, but still, it's like for a movie that people are like, oh, it's the worst movie ever. Like I got a bit of argument with a guy on the weekend because he's just like Suicide Squad. We were talking about it, and he goes, 110% terrible movie. And I went, okay, yeah, I can't just let you throw that out there. Why? And he started saying why, and I'm like, nope. And I started poking holes in that one, and then he started saying this, and I'm like, poking holes in that one. And then like the other guy went, well, I just didn't like the story as much. I'm like, oh, I agree with you. The story could have been better, and the scripting could have been better. But he was like, Harley Quinn was terrible, and I was like, and everyone in the room went, okay, you've lost us completely.
Yeah,
it was just like, if you didn't like Harley Quinn, then like we got nothing. It's like there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah, if anything, I mean, to say it's a complete, utter 100% mess is a little.
Yeah.
You're just being a troll at that point.
Yeah.
I would say Harley Quinn is one of the
strongest parts of the film.
Right. And if not, Will Smith being Will Smith and in a reserved version too.
Yeah.
To have his charisma and still do it without being the
it's like, hey, I'm Will Smith. Everyone look at me. No, he was quite willing to not be like the focal point of the movie and still be funny and relevant. And I'm happy it's still making bank. Even though it's not large, it came in second place. Like it stayed in the top 5 much longer than people probably thought it ever would have.
Yeah, people are
After the
choosing it more. Yeah.
Yeah, after that initial weekend where everyone's like, "Oh, it's like it made a lot of money, but it's terrible. It's gonna don't worry, it's gonna go away." It's like it hasn't gone away.
Right.
It hasn't gone up against much, but it hasn't gone away. It's still stuck around. So again, if you win gold because the other guy slips, you still win gold,
Right. Right.
and
And
it's
actually, it just passed. It just passed Civil War. It just passed Batman v Superman. It's the only superhero movie to have three firsts and 2 seconds.
yeah.
No
So
other superhero movie managed to stay that high for that long. So
now we're not saying it's a better movie than those, and we're not saying that it's going to beat them in the box office. We're just saying it's ranked higher technically if you're going by box office rankings.
yeah,
It won first place 3 weeks in a row,
sure.
and then it's second place twice. So it's like,
People chose it more.
yeah, and there is a lot of movies out right now. Like
Oh,
it's not like, well, there's nothing to see. No, there's a bunch of stuff to see. People have just, Morgan came out, and if you don't know what Morgan is, it was like it looks interesting. I want to see it,
hmm
but it's Ridley Scott's son directed it, and it's got a good cast. It's a sci-fi movie, and it came in 15th place. I think we were talking about earlier,
yeah,
with
yep,
like under $2 million.
yeah, 1.9, and it averaged something like 900 a theater. And like I said, Ghostbusters
Yeah,
pulled
beat it.
in, I think $8 more per theater.
And it was on like I looked, it was on like 2,000 screens.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, no.
So
It's
it
it's got a
wasn't like
wide
it was
release.
like, oh, it was like, it was only on a couple screens. Like, no, it got a pretty wide release.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know what happened there. and the Michael Fassbender movie that I thought would do pretty well
Right. Well, let me
didn't.
let me let me do international, worldwide, and then I have a topic for you.
Okay.
So this is international. So this is everywhere but U.S. and Canada. Star Trek Beyond actually opened in China, so that kind of shows that little
Yeah.
pick up there. Um, Secret Life of Pets. It's still dominating. Jason Bourne.
Yeah. Jason
Jason
Bourne.
Bourne's coming off of it was released last week, pretty wide in some spots. So that explains that. I mean, other than that, Ice Age is
What the frick is Ice Age doing there? It's stupid Russia.
yeah.
What the heck are
So
you guys doing?
yeah. So there's that, and then I'm gonna
Ben
go
Hur
ahead.
was 10th. I'm shocked
Yeah,
about that
yeah,
too.
yeah. Ben Air, and then we'll go to worldwide here, which is us included.
Yeah.
So is it up? Yep. Okay, there it is.
Yeah.
So no, it's not us. No, is it? I can't even tell.
Worldwide, yeah, that should be us included. Oh, maybe not. I don't know.
Oh, it might be, yeah, because Don't Breathe isn't anywhere. It's it's so
Isn't
strange.
there?
I should have looked this up before I did it. But yeah, you look at it, Star Trek, even with China, that was good enough for it to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's us included.
Yeah. Okay.
So it just shows you just how much the rest of the world is actually factoring into any given movie's financial
Yeah.
gain.
Financial presence and stuff. Because
Because Star Trek, we're so done with it. Meanwhile,
yeah,
as
of
far as
course,
the
the world's
world is
like,
concerned,
hey,
number one. Yeah.
we'll watch this space movie.
So that's that.
Pete's Dragon has surprised me because Pete's Dragon, when it came out, had a really weak first opening weekend. Although
Yeah.
apparently Disney was ready for it because I think it made like 22 or 23, and they thought it was going to make 25, and I was just like, oh, so they kind of didn't think it would do that well. But
Mhm.
it sticks around. It's still in the top 10 worldwide, and it's top 5 for us in North America. So, like, I'm surprised that it's kind of sticking around, but it is. I don't know. Again, family movies do well sooner or later. It still doesn't make back its budget yet, though, or maybe it has by now. But it was like 62 or something like that on the weekend, and it had a $65 million budget.
Yeah,
So
see, I think lasting power does more for a movie than anything because it just, I'd rather have a movie that kind of cuts it and sticks around for 2 months
yeah,
rather than, a big spurt 1 week and then gone 3 weeks later. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Because like Jungle Book and Civil War were both movies that literally kept on being like a month and a half, 2 months later, we're still in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, so a bunch of movies had come out at that point, done really well, like you said, and then faded off and then dropped off the top 10. And meanwhile, both of those did well for like 3 weeks and then came out of the top five, but then just hung there for a month in the top 10, like where they did this, just like every weekend they would do money.
Right.
And they wouldn't beat anything up in the top five, but they would stick around in the top 10, no problem. So it's like, and again, that's where theaters make most of their money is like, when Civil War's been out for a month and you go see it, they make a lot more money off you than opening weekend.
I want to say Tarzan was like that too, wasn't it? Wasn't
Yeah,
Tarzan just
Tarzan stuck around for quite a while. Like
yeah,
again, and that was something we didn't think would do anything, but it did fairly well.
yeah.
So
So with this whimper into the darkness here, the 2016 summer is kind of officially over. Like Labor Day usually marks the
yeah,
end of the summer.
it's got to be done now.
What 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 are your wide opinions of 2016 as far as the movies are concerned?
Oh, it's freaking disappointing. It's it there it's a whole lot of sizzle and not a lot of steak. Is like it's a lot of noise and thunder, but not a lot of substance.
Yeah,
Because like the amount of movies that I'm like that was great. I could name like now I have not been lucky enough to see a bunch of these smaller movies that everyone talks about. It's like Sing Street, Green Room, Swiss Army Man. I haven't got to see any of these movies yet, right? But
right.
for the blockbuster summer, freaking disappointing
Yeah,
overall.
I want to say, I mean, I haven't gone and looked. I want to say that this is the most disappointing summer since we've had a two in front of our years.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised
I mean,
if you looked at them what
yeah,
came out and stuff.
right. Like if you go back and say 2001, 2002, like I could probably give you one movie and say, all right, that was big that year, and then kind of
Yeah.
feed three or four movies off of that. This year,
Yep.
I don't, I don't. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, Civil War
There.
was good, but okay, whatever.
The more I think about Civil War, I liked it the first time I saw. I've only seen Civil War once
Hmm.
now, but I remember thinking that was a really good movie. And the more I think of it, the more I'm just like, meh. It was okay.
Yeah,
It was just it. I don't like. There's no longing to see it again, like desperately. Whereas, and there are a few like Nice Guys I've wanted to see again. Like I wanted to go see it again in the theater. I just didn't have the money. It's like I would have gone 2 weeks in a row, and it's like meanwhile that would have probably helped it because no one went and saw the freaking thing. So it's just a big disappointment. Like there was a whole lot of noise and a whole lot of wow, look at this and look at this and oh, we're gonna throw controversy at you with women in films and this in film, and it's like meanwhile it all amounted to freaking nothing.
yeah, yeah.
Like the box office was lame for most of it. The the critical success was lame for most of it.
And there,
Like
it's a bunch of what ifs, though, isn't it? Excuse me, my voice keeps coming and going. I'm sorry. It the like Independence Day. What if Will Smith was back? Uh,
yeah,
Ghostbusters. What if What if it wasn't so different? Ghostbusters. What if it was Ghostbusters 3? Uh,
yeah.
I'm trying to think what else. Yeah. What else was released that
What
man?
if Suicide Squad hadn't been so
Oh,
divisive? What if Suicide Squad had come out in a year before? What if it had been released before
mm-hmm.
Batman versus Superman?
Right, right.
Like change a few things. I think you would have had more people like it because they like that whole divisive thing with oh it's not Marvel. And I want a Marvel movie, and it's like DC's like we're not Marvel. There's room for both of us.
What's funny is, you look you like what we're doing in this show. You look at the numbers, and Suicide Squad's doing just fine.
Yeah, it's doing pretty darn good.
Right, but if you hear people talk, it's
Yeah.
terrible. It's
Again,
horrible.
I got in a bit of an argument with my dad the opening weekend because he hasn't seen the movie, doesn't even want to see the movie,
Mhm.
but he's like, I read 5 reviews and the one reviewer said it was the worst movie he ever saw. And I was like, number one, why are you reading reviews for a movie you have no interest in going to see? And then and I'm like, obviously, and I hadn't seen the movie at that moment. I'm like, I think they're kind of jaded. I think, it's like, now again, is this the greatest movie of the ever? No, it's not even the best movie of the year, not even close. But I
That's
like,
fine.
I
It's
enjoyed
sorry, it's
it. It
fine.
was entertaining. Its flaws don't outnumber how entertaining it is. That doesn't
Right.
make any sense, but you know what I mean. Like, its benefits don't outweigh its faults. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
still screwed it up there, but anyways,
It's
its
all
faults
right.
don't
We
outweigh
know
its
what
benefits.
you
There you go.
mean.
I like the movie. I just, it's not the greatest thing ever, but it was not the worst movie ever, and people just jumped all over that. And
And yeah,
so
and it's funny, the landscape kind of it, if it's released in a different summer, you can kind of spin it. But
yeah,
because it's such a perfect movie for 2016 summer, because it's
yeah,
just like, yeah, oh,
yeah,
what if? Just a bunch of what if movies.
yeah.
And I don't know. They're, the numbers are for the year, for the total, 3 billion behind what the pace is. I don't think there's any chance
Of
that,
catching that up.
right. And granted, you have a Marvel movie in Doctor Strange, a Harry Potter offshoot, and a
Yeah,
Star Wars offshoot. So it's possible, uh, but I really don't think this year deserves any of that.
no, no. It's like there has been some good films. It's just overall there's been a lot of hype and very little payoff, and it's just I don't like. And audiences, I think, in North America, for the most part, have realized that. That's why, like Ghostbusters, I might have by now, but it didn't make back its budget last time I checked.
Yeah, no,
So
technically, in America, it has not made its money back.
yeah, so it's like I understand worldwide and stuff changes everything, but like
Hmm.
a movie should a movie made by an American studio should be able to make back its budget. Like forgetting, I'm not even including advertising and all that. I just mean your movie costs you 60 million to make, you should be able to make that back. It's like, and if you shouldn't, if you can't, there's like only a couple reasons why, and like some of it is like Nice Guys. I think was released at the wrong time, and it was also didn't get enough publicity.
Right.
But it's like Ghostbusters, it got publicity out the wazoo and it didn't freaking make a difference. People just didn't want to see that movie the same way they thought they were going to want them to see that movie. So it's like the studio thought they had something there, and then when people criticized it, the studio went, "Oh, we'll flip it and make that criticism pay for us." So it's like, "Oh, you don't like because it has women? Oh, well then you're bad because it's like." And again, I had no problem with the fact there was women that wasn't the issue with the film at all. The writing was, but um, it's been a really weird, lame year for film as a whole. Like again, good things here and there, but as a
So
whole,
so let me read the slate for next year. This is starting with May 5th. May 5th, 2017. You have Guardians 2 coming out. Uh, then Mother Daughter, Annabelle 2, Baywatch, which we've seen nothing of, so it'll be
yeah,
interesting to see what the hell that deal is. Uh, Pirates, what, 5? Pirates of the Caribbean
five, yeah,
5.
Pirates of the Caribbean 5
You have Wonder Woman in June 2nd. The Mummy
with
with
Tom
Tom
Cruise.
Cruise, right? So that's interesting. Cars 3, like, really?
Really, I didn't even know they were making Cars
Yeah.
3. I don't know
We
why
have a
they're doing that.
Kingsman sequel coming out in June 16th.
That excites me.
Colin Trevorrow directing Book of Henry.
What the heck is
So
Book of Henry?
with that, Naomi Watts, it'll get beaten by Kingsman.
By
Um,
Kingsman, probably.
right. Transformers, Despicable Me 3, Spider-Man: Homecoming,
That won't
War
do well.
War for the Planet of the Apes, Dunkirk, untitled Jumanji sequel, Alien Covenant, the Emoji Movie. Really?
It's funny with the Jumanji thing because that was supposed to be a remake.
Oh, really?
And yeah, it was announced. Oh, we're remaking Jumanji, and people complained. And I think enough, like there was no petition signed, but I think enough people went, really? Why are you remaking Jumanji? That they went, screw that, sequel to Jumanji. It's the kids now grown up. Because like it was supposed to be a full on like straight up remake, and they just went, oh crap, if we want to do this, there's no way people are gonna go watch it if it's a remake. So let's sequel it up, and we can like save. We've already put production value into it. Save what we got. We'll make it a sequel. So
Speaking of,
that's interesting because it's like they listened to people going, ugh, and they went, oh crap. Whereas in years ago that never would have happened. Years ago they would have gone, hey, we're gonna do this, and then people would have gone, and they would have gone, you don't care.
they're
Plus,
starting
it's
to learn their lesson.
Twitter and all that kind of stuff has been playing a point, right? Like it's been playing a part where it's like people say, "Oh, it's Jumanji's remake. That's stupid," and like hashtag Jumanji remake stupid. And next thing you know, it's like, "Oh, there's 10,000 people who think that's stupid. Holy crap! Maybe we should change that idea." So.
Speaking of remake, to close out the summer next year, September 8th, It has a remake coming out.
Yeah, they're remaking that like about 4 or 5 blocks away from where I work.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, listen, if you told me a year and a half ago, or a year ago, that Independence Day 2, Born for, like, I'd be kind of fired up for some of it. But
Yeah,
you have an It remake, a Flatliners, I guess, reboot I'm looking at.
reboot, remake,
Alien
whatever.
Covenant, I'm kind of fired up for. Dunkirk, I'm sorry, Christopher Nolan making film. That's all that matters as far
Yeah,
as I'm
as
concerned.
as far as I'm concerned, you tell me Christopher Nolan is making the lollipop film, and I will freaking watch it. It's like he's making a film about Pez. Fine,
Yeah.
I'll freaking watch it. I don't care because I'm
Yeah.
assuming it's going to be awesome.
You
One day
take
the
them.
man will disappoint me. One day he will. One day I'll watch it and I'm going, it's just okay, but it hasn't happened yet. So
Well, even that, you take the month of July. July 7th, you have Spider-Man. July 14th, you have War for the Planet of the Apes. July 21st, Dunkirk, and 28th, you have Jumanji. Like every week of July looks
yeah,
pretty strong. I mean, granted, again, it looks it. Here way
yeah.
back in 11 months
I
from
go,
the.
it's like, this looks strong. This looks, it's like the amount of movies that you're like, oh, that's going to do well, and then would come out and just bomb
Mm-hmm,
this year.
mm-hmm.
And it's part of it. Part of it's economy. Part of it
No,
is like no. Part of like
I'm not letting
they're
them off like that.
no
That
no no no
they
no no
suck
no.
this year.
Don't get me wrong. Part of it's economy. Like when part of it, I mean, you only have so much money in the month, so people are picking and choosing the movies they
Mm,
really want to see, right? So that's like I can't watch 5 movies in the summer every month because
mm-hmm,
I can't afford to do that. So I'm going to have to pick and choose.
mm-hmm.
So part of like that's the economy part. I mean, and part of it though is it's just bad filmmaking, and some of it is bad advertising. Again, the nice
It's
guys,
mhm.
right? So it's like if someone was gonna like, oh, I have one film I can see this month or 2 films, and then they go see something else, and then they're like, well, that sucks. Well, it's like, well, I don't have money to go see the nice guys now because I spent
Well,
it on that piece of
well,
crap.
another thing is it's
So,
just so watered down too.
yeah,
Like you're pumping out 3 movies a week, and
yeah,
shit, this last week, what? Nothing was worth the time. Like what? Like, and that's where you keep going back to Nice Guys.
yeah,
If you had something like Nice Guys and you pull it back and release it this weekend,
yeah,
it could have come in first, maybe
yeah,
not, maybe second, maybe third, but it would have been way better than the fate it suffered before.
yeah.
This watered down nature that they're treating things is just, it's doing damage to everybody, to the films that deserve the credit, to the people that aren't sure of what they want to see, and then they end up seeing something stupid. It's just it's bad that way. The watered down stuff is, I don't know, like who is that, helping? I It can't be anybody. You're muted, Peter. You're muted. I have a
There you go. I have a dog barking, so I
uh,
decided to mute myself so we didn't have to hear
well,
that.
thank you.
And I thought I clicked it, and I guess I didn't. Yeah, it's not helping. Like I don't understand. like it's supposed to be art, but it's also supposed to be money making, right? It's business,
Mm-hmm.
and I just don't get like why they're releasing certain films when they're like other times though they're like being like Don't Breathe right now is the perfect time for that film
Mm-hmm.
because it's winning the box office.
Mm-hmm.
It's got very little to compete with that people want to see if they want to see a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
There's like nothing else out right now that's horror related as far as I can, other than maybe Morgan, which you could say is sci-fi horror, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like, and it's getting good reviews, so they've made a solid movie and they released it at the right time, and it's just, again, if they'd done that with certain films like The Nice Guy, just maybe timing, maybe it was like, there's so many things that it could be. So, but overall, the summer has just been incredibly disappointing. So, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. How did we do this week? I think we both did probably pretty bad.
We did equally. Hold on. I will find it. Here we are. We had a nice sandwich. We had a
we
nice
got the
sandwich.
same amount of points because we screwed up so I thought Light Between Oceans would do better. Light Between Oceans didn't make it. It was a top. It was it 8 or 9 or
We
something like
had
that.
we had flip-flopped faith in the new movies,
Yeah,
and it did not matter.
yeah. Suicide Squad beat us both, and neither one of those movies made it in the top 5.
It's so funny. I mean, uh, in a way, we had something there, but
Yeah.
the Cuba Pete's Dragon. Where the hell did that come
Again,
from?
like
Like
I said,
what?
it didn't win its weekend when it came out,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought, okay, Disney's made a huge mistake here, and it went in the top, it went below top 5, and now it's back in the top 5, and it's like
Yeah.
there were 3 new movies released this week, and it beat all of them.
Yeah,
And
it's
it's
so
just
strange.
like that is crazy to think that a movie that's been out for 3 weeks or maybe 4 weeks at this point. I don't know how long it's been out, but it's like drops like came out, got like second or third place, got like fifth place, went to eighth place, back to third place. It's like what? I don't. And again, I guess it's the end of the summer thing where it's like, oh, let's take the kids to see a movie before school starts. But I'm like, it's just it's crazy that it came back up like that. It's kind of funny.
um,
So
Another well, we're going into the real life stuff for a little bit. We get a stretch there. We get Sully, then we get Snowden,
mhm.
and then Magnificent Seven finally comes out, and then I
Yeah,
I think once Magnificent Seven's done, like once we hit October, we're really going to start getting into the better films, which technically, if Sully's done the right way, you could probably say that maybe, this upcoming week, you could say that the contenders for the awards are here.
yeah,
Um, so next week we're going to do Tom Hanks, but I decided to do Clint Eastwood as a director
as a director.
for
Okay.
history here to peep in on the chances for Sully. And you look there, he's only got 4 movies that have grossed over 100 million. I think that's really, really interesting.
Well, yeah, 4 movies: Million Dollar Baby,
Yeah,
and freaking Gran Torino, and American Sniper made massive bank. But
American Sniper did an
I
incredible
think
money.
a lot of that is to do with, no offense, it's to do with America, and like we
Oh
love
yeah.
America, and yeah, it's like they took a heck of a lot of liberties with that guy's life.
Oh yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah. I mean, he lost a lawsuit,
yeah,
or excuse me, his estate lost a lawsuit. Like things that he said about people in his book were a little untrue.
yeah,
Is the most gentle way to put it.
yeah,
But yeah, you look here at Clint Eastwood, and what frightens me is J. Edgar is one of the better movies that he's done or he's directed. Doesn't even
yeah.
crack the top 12. Like,
No,
uh,
now a lot of these movies were like absolute power, Jersey Boys. Like
Mystic River was really good.
I'd like to see what what they did versus everything else. Because like even if they only made 60 million, if like they came out in first place and the next thing was like a 20 million, it's like that's decent money for the
Yeah, it's a
time.
good point.
You know what I mean? It's like now we like if it doesn't make
I think it's
it's
100. I think 100 is like the big number now.
yeah, if like
Everybody,
it's got to hit 100 or it's like well it didn't make 100 million. It's like whereas in like Bridges of Madison County and stuff like it's like that
that's
that was
old
never
money too. That's
that was
1990s
never
money.
yeah. So it's like it's 1990s money. If you put it in today's time like thing, it may even out of hey he's made a heck of a lot of stuff, but
Hmm.
like Jersey Boys is the big one that sits there for me because that is current money.
I
And
didn't like that movie.
I'll be honest, I saw it and I was just like I've never seen like I know it's based on the musical, right? I've never
Yeah,
seen the musical, so and
nor have
I'm
I.
not a,
But
and I'm not a big fan of Frankie Valli
hmm.
and that. So or not a fan at all. Like I don't particularly like the way he sings and stuff. So, yeah, it's just like I watched it because I was told you should watch it, and I was like okay, and I watched it and it was just like all right, it was a biopic.
Yeah,
It could have been. I think he's a good director, but like it felt like it could have been made by anyone. Um,
yeah, good
like
point.
like movies that he's done, like Gran Torino, awesome movie, great movie. Unforgiven, completely amazing movie. But as a director, he's not. I like, and I say this with knowing the fact that he is my favorite actor. Like, and I've said it before, him and Bill Murray are tied because they're so different.
Hmm.
But he's not the best director, but he does make good dramas.
Hmm.
So he wouldn't make it on my top 10 directors lists easily. I can name lots of better directors than Clint Eastwood, but he
Well,
he does make good solid dramas.
yeah,
So
you know what? He's almost like our buddy there, X-Men. Why does his name slip my
Brian
mind?
Singer,
No, bad X-Men.
oh Brett Ratner,
Or yeah, he reminds me of like uh, you know, like a biopic type version of Brett Ratner. He, very, very mainstream, very, muddled tones. Just
yeah,
I'm making a realistic movie, so you're not gonna have very much color in it, and it's just,
yeah.
geh, geh.
Like he does a good job on, especially on certain movies and stuff like that. But overall, like there's nothing. I've never watched one of his films and had like a Tarantino moment or a
Oh
Spielberg moment or a Nolan moment or like a
no,
Kubrick moment where you're just like, wow, that was like. There's never been a time where I've gone, wow, that's an incredible shot. It's like, how did he come up with that? Like, how
yeah,
did?
yeah.
And again, I know that cinematographer is the one that actually put the shot there, but it's like the director's the one where he's like, I want this to come in and stuff.
Hmm.
So it's like there was never a time with Clint Eastwood where it's like he's not cinematic in
No.
in the sense that like the way he moves the camera and stuff and the way he directs the way everything goes. He just makes incredibly solid dramas. And I like I said, he's my favorite actor, but he's far from my favorite director because he makes really solid good dramas, but there's nothing about his stuff that's just like holy crap, he's on the top level of
See,
filmmaking.
I feel like a lot. See, now I have to go back to it. I feel like a lot of the times he's being pulled by something. All right, American Sniper, like you said, it was a bit of a hurrah, woohoo,
Yeah, that's
yay,
like
America. But then you have Gran Torino, he was in. Unforgiven, he was in. Million
yeah,
Dollar Baby, he was in. Space Cowboys, he was in.
yep,
Mystic River, really good cast.
yeah,
Bridges of
great
Madison County,
cast.
he was in.
He was in Sudden Impact. He was in absolutely.
So like there's a bit of a there's a pattern here. We have the movies that are really doing well, they're movies that he is in, and the movies that are good, it's either been him or a really decent cast, and you could kind of equate the film to the quality of the performance, less so. Are you still there? Did we lose you? Oh, Peter. Peter's frozen. So what I was going to say is with Clint Eastwood, he almost gets He really does. He gets bailed out by the performances of the actors within the movie, or the drawing power of him himself as the actor. And boy, do I hope Peter comes back, because I don't have much more to say about any of this. It's funny. I don't know if you could see it. Oh, I could actually show you, can I? No, I can't, because he's officially gone. I have a picture of him just staring. So anyway, we bring up Clint Eastwood because he is the director of the upcoming biopic Sully, which stars Tom Hanks. And from the I'm sorry, my voice is just, when I get sick, my voice goes hoarse, and I've been sick a lot lately. Um, the the Sully is the only thing coming out this weekend. I'm intrigued to see if it does well. I mean, because I'm kind of excited to finally, because it's been a while since I've really given a shit about a movie. I'm curious to see if that's the case for America, because I mean, 18 million for a rehashed movie on a weekend where, people go to, not everybody goes to the movies, but some people do. I've looked back, and there have been some pretty strong Labor Day weekends. Up here in the Northeast, there was a considerable amount of bad weather, so there was that excuse to go to the movies. So, and nobody, no, not nobody, but it wasn't a very good weekend. So I'm intrigued to see uh, if a quality movie, a quality actor. I mean, Tom Hanks. If you don't want to go see a Tom Hanks movie, there's something wrong. Thank God he's back. Hello.
Hello. Sorry.
Hi.
My computer froze.
Felt like taking a break, did you?
I was just like, I was still talking too, and then I looked up for a second. I'm like, crap. Nothing's moving. Ah, crap. I'm talking to myself.
So, I was saying that Sully's coming out this weekend, and it's got no competition. Do you think there's a case? I mean, do you think it's going to do well? And do you think it's going to do well because people, Tom Hanks, everybody just loves Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is like the white Denzel for some reason. And could it
Yes, he
be
is.
just a thing where people like finally a decent movie to go see?
Yeah, I think this is the kickoff to the Oscar season, as far as like can tell, where it's like, hey, look at us, we're making a really good film. It's like,
Real movies again, guys,
real,
huh?
real movies again. You can put that little crappy horror stuff away. You can put the big explosions away. They go like this. You can, it's like we're making real movies now. It's September, and yeah, it's got no competition, like you said. That's the big, that's kind of a big selling point. And it, like, Tom Hanks is very bankable usually, and so is Clint Eastwood. Like we said, it's like he's bankable for at least decent money, assuming it's not Four Seasons, or the Jersey Boys or whatever they're called.
J. Edgar too. I was
Yeah,
shocked that J. Edgar didn't even crack that list.
yeah. So overall, I think it should do well. I have no clue what it's going to do though.
I
I
mean,
wouldn't say it's going to go 100 million.
oh no,
I
no.
don't think people are interested in seeing movies right now. I think everyone's getting in the backs, the swing of, my kids just went back to
School,
school.
yeah.
People are summer vacations are over. People are getting back into the normalcy of seeing everyone at the office and all that kind of stuff. Vacations are done.
Yeah.
So it is like, oh, Friday, let's go see a movie. It's like, it's not going to have as many people who are willing to just like, oh, let's just go see a movie because it's Friday.
Yeah,
And right, like, it's just because it's the beginning of September. It's like, oh, I got crap to do. It's like, and
but
so
there's almost this perfect storm though, because
yeah,
you have a pretty stale box office. The last couple of weeks, it's been like, all
yeah,
right, well, Don't Breathe and Suicide Squad just hanging around. I mean, it goes without saying that Sully should come in first.
yeah,
The real deal is, does it do 40, 50, 60, 80
yeah,
million? Because it's just been so long. I mean, I don't think it'll do anything above 50.
Yeah,
But
I was gonna say if it does 50, I think they should be happy.
yeah, right.
I don't think it'll do, and like I think part of that is just again climate of like I do believe like especially right now economics will play a part to the degree of see in the summer no one has any money because they've been spending on everything.
Hmm.
So like when you can stay in and watch Netflix compared to going out to a movie and like you will have the adults who are like, oh, I've been waiting for an adult movie for because like the only other adult movie that's been out for the last while was the one that just was released with Michael Fassbender, which did nothing.
Right.
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 So this is an adult movie. It's based on an actual event. It has a good director. It has a star. This is something that they hit close to a lot of people's homes with like the actual like the fact that this was covered by so many news outlets and stuff. I think you'll have at least a fair amount of people who go, oh, I want to go see that, but you will have a bunch of people who just be like, yeah, that looks good. I'll see that sooner or later, and
Is it
it's like
too soon after the fact?
that may be it. Like I don't know. I don't know if it's too soon after the actual event. I don't think so because most people are like, I like because the fact everyone survived.
Hmm.
It wasn't a tragedy. Tragedy. It was more just like a heroic thing. Um, but I think it's that one. Like if this movie had been coming out maybe 2 weeks from now with no competition whatsoever, it may have done better than if it was coming out right now because of the busyness of everyone's life coming back into September. So, because
Well,
2 weeks from now, you have people who are like settled in, so they've gotten back to routine, and it's like, oh, we go see that new Clint Eastwood movie. But I don't know. I hope it does well. It looks good. I'm interested in it. I'm not going to be seeing it though. I like for me, it's economics. I spent a lot of money on movies in the summer, and I literally was like, okay, we can only go see one movie, and and so with my say it, come on, say it.
no, no, I'm laughing because you've taken the my daughter's
Yeah,
drinking game and changed it with I don't have money drinking
yeah,
game.
drinking game.
You've said I don't have money, I think
I
six
don't
times in this
have money.
episode. I don't have money either,
I
but I'm
don't
trying
have
not
any
to
money.
talk about it.
I have well, no, I'm just gonna be honest. It's like I got no money. Oh, okay. If I really wanted to, I could go see it, but I'm trying to be a responsible adult. Damn it! And adulting is freaking hard.
Oh, don't yeah, I
It
quit.
sucks.
Where do I
And
go to change in my adulting for
yeah,
childing?
for childing because it's so much easier being a kid.
Hmm.
But yeah, so I kind of picked the movie I was going to be seeing this month
I'm
with
gonna
my
give you signs
daughters.
with little sticks on them,
Yeah,
and you're gonna
he
my
brought up
daughters
money. He
and
brought up his
no
daughters.
money.
So money
You
will
do.
be easier not to talk about, but my daughters always get brought up anyways. And if people, I'm just trying to help people who are thirsty. That's my goal here, or who want to get drunk. That's
Mm,
like the options,
mm.
right? So I'm trying to help. I'm trying to be helpful.
See, yesterday we had our movie commentary on the Lomax channel, and
Yeah,
we were without half the group. Peter and Lee weren't with us,
yeah.
and we opened up the show, and I read an IMDb tidbit, excuse me, to fill in for Lee, and then I was like, well, I don't have daughters, so I can't do a Peter story.
Yep. Can't do that one. Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, we do a weekly movie commentary over in the Brian Lomax Movie Talk
Everyone
channel.
should know by now, but if you don't, it's tons of fun. And I
Hmm.
just didn't do it last night. You guys did what?
Well, we did Nightcrawler
Yeah,
because there's no way we were. Green Hornet
Green
Lantern
Lantern. Yeah,
wasn't going to be done without Lee. So
yeah. Nightcrawler's a freaking excellent movie.
I know I
It's
was
so
like, ooh,
good.
ooh, thank you.
It is so good. It's such a good movie compared to anything in the Hannibal series except Silence of the Lambs.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I
And,
said, it was
and I
like
would still say it's better than Silence of the Lambs. And people will probably be mad at it. I put it. It's to me, it's 5 stars. Hannibal, Silence of the Lambs is 4.5.
all
So
right, all
I
right.
like I like the character Jake Gyllenhaal. He's so despicable and terrible and just
Ah, you really
interesting.
should have joined us then. That's crazy.
I should have, but I was busy watching Stranger Things with my family. So which is
um,
awesome if you haven't seen that, by the
oh
way.
my God, yeah. It's awesome. It's not, oh my God, let's
No,
change the
it's
social structure of life.
incredibly entertaining.
Yeah.
It's very entertaining, and it stars Lee from Drum Dums.
Doesn't
He
star him.
has a starring role in 3 seconds of it, which it's so funny because I knew what episode he told me what episode he was in.
Mhm.
And if you don't know Lee actually is an extra in Stranger Things. Um, he he told me what episode, and he even told me the time
Uh-huh.
that he was in, and he told me what he did, that which is pushing a button on a VHS player,
Mhm.
and I still watched it, and then 2 minutes later went, "Holy crap! I missed Lee," and I had to rewind it. Like my wife Beth was like, "What do you mean you missed Lee?" And I'm like, and she already knew, but I was like, "Lee was in that scene." She goes, "I didn't see him," and I'm like, "Neither did I," but he's there, and so we had to rewind it. And I'm like, pause it. I'm like, "There he is, right there. That's Lee." It's like, so Lee pushes the button. It's riveting, but
Mhm.
it made it that much better. So yeah.
So yeah, Peter's without money, and it's
Yep.
it's affecting his decisions.
My daughters also don't have money, if that's like a trifecta in Trump family. They are also poor.
Well, it's kind of, yeah.
It's a triangle, bitch.
So I feel like it, it it's interesting. This upcoming weekend's interesting because for as much as there are some things that you could predict, 2016 is proving that it's basically,
Yeah,
all bets are off.
you're screwed.
So like if Sully opens to like 12 million, then it's just like, all right, something's up.
Yeah.
The way the landscape is it's just different, and like it's going to be officially different. But if it opens to like 30 or something, then something, or unless it gets bad reviews, then
Yeah.
whatever. But
I'm hoping it, like I said, I'm hoping it does well. I enjoy everyone in that movie. Like I like Tom, or what's his name?
Tom
That's my
Hanks.
Tom. Yeah, I was gonna say Tom Cruise, and I'm like, that's a completely different movie. That one, he saves the plane; it doesn't even go in the water. But
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
I enjoy Tom Hanks. I enjoy Clint Eastwood as a director. Like, again, not the best director, but I enjoy him. I'm interested in the story because apparently it's the whole story of the fact that even though he saved everyone, they still tried to blue ball the guy,
yeah.
and like it's just so it looks interesting. It looks good. I'm quite happy to see it whenever I do get around to seeing it, but I don't know how well it'll do.
I'll tell you what hurts the movie. I'm intrigued to know if, let's just say, they leave out the part that you can't have the same title. If you leave out the fact that it's a true story and you just show like a teaser, the guy saying, I don't have time, I need to land, and they say you can go this runway. He's like, I'm going to put it in the water,
Yeah,
and the
and this, yeah. If you didn't know it was a true story, I think
right,
it probably would do better on
right,
some level.
exactly. If it's, oh shit, is the plane going to make it? Like if
Yeah,
you make the trailers about that, and take away the fact that it, like, and this plays into, is it too soon?
yeah,
Because when you have a true story about something that took place 20 years ago, like I can't tell you how many true stories where I'm like, I don't know if this guy died because of the thing
yeah,
that's happening right now, or like, when you forget the ending, it's a lot
yeah,
better. So I feel like the fact that it's just so fresh
yeah.
might hurt it a little bit.
The one thing I did see, like Clint Eastwood said, like he had no interest in making the film until he found out about all the stuff that went on behind the scenes where they tried to railroad him, and that again, and so it's like it as much as the film it features the big, like the engines going and it crashing in the river.
Mm-hmm.
The film isn't actually about that as much as it is about what happened to Sully afterwards, right? Like, so
Mm-hmm.
it's like I'm sure that'll take up like 20-25 minutes of the movie in total, but it's really not about that. It's about the fact that this guy did something incredible and people still tried to screw him for it because they thought it would serve them better to be like, oh, it was pilot error that put him in the water, and and not malfunctioning equipment, and because it
Hmm.
looks better to us, it's like it's better for the airline if they didn't screw up and it was the pilot error. So like I think that's like directly why Clint Eastwood said I was interested in making the movie. It's like, so, and I don't know any of that story. And like I only, because if you would have said his name to me, like I don't even know his last name. That's how much I
Right.
don't know. If you were to say who is Sully so and so, I didn't like no clue. And
Well, I think his
so
last name is Sullenberger or something like that. I think
oh,
that's
okay.
what the Sully's from.
So
I
it's
just I
like
just hope it's not like the film opens with the event
yeah,
and then it's like a courtroom drama from there forward. I don't know. I would hope that the 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 middle chunk is
yeah,
the events of the,
the
like,
event happening.
give me
Yeah,
a real time situation of that, whatever it was, that what they say, 68 minutes or something like that. I wouldn't
yeah,
mind having that in real time and then, you know, shore it up at the end there.
yeah.
Uh,
It's interesting to see how they do it and how they edit
mm-hmm.
it together. Is it going to be like flashbacks, or is it going to be more of a straight narrative with some flashback memory stuff when
Right.
he's recounting the story to him?
Have you seen Flight with Denzel Washington?
Yes, I did. Yeah,
See that I
which is
felt
kind of what I thought Flight was like. I thought it was kind of telling that story of the impossible landing,
right,
but
right.
making it a bit more theatrical. But then like
Well, throwing in some
throwing in the fact that he's an alcoholic and
right,
stuff. Whereas, from what I understand, this captain was not an alcoholic
right.
and did not have any booze whatsoever in his system. So it's like It's just the fact that they tried to railroad him.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought Flight was good. Um, Another movie though that once I saw, I was kind of like, oh, I'm good. I've seen that movie. I never need to see it again.
Yeah,
So
I just wish they spent more, like, he flies a plane upside down because he needs to, and then and then you get into the, like, that's the part of the first act. It's just like,
yeah,
man, that's the juiciest part of the movie, and it took place in the
yeah,
first third.
yeah.
I just hope that we get a substantial movie here. I guess it's prediction time. Let me
Wait,
find.
do you know how long Sully is?
I can find out. Um, Sully opens Friday. 1 hour, 1 hour 36 minutes. Nice and tight.
Wow. Then
Mr. Eastwood, what are you doing?
wow. I would have thought 2 hours for sure, but
At
that
least,
then
right?
maybe it's not going to be all jumbled around and stuff. Maybe it's going to be more of a very straightforward telling of the narrative where it's like, oh, and you start. It may start with Sully sitting on a bed and then flashing back to the thing and then it happening full on and then
Hmm.
I don't know, but that's actually for that story. I'm surprised it's that short. So
I'm kind of glad it's that short. Not much
hopefully
room
it's going
to
to be
mess
nice and
around.
tight. Then it's going to be like there's going to be I don't know. Stories like that, you have room to play with, but you also like sometimes they have those filler things where it's like they show stuff that it's like that had no bearing on anything. Flight had a few of those where it was just like, okay, that we could have skipped that and that wouldn't have made a difference in the story. So,
All right,
all
so
right,
I'm
this
going to
week.
start. Obviously, Sully. I'm putting at 1. I'm going to take Don't Breathe and put that at 2. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to take Suicide Squad, put that at 3. Um, but with everybody going back, I'm going to get a little crazy here. Um, I'm going to put. Wow, I don't know what the hell I'm doing here. I'm going to put Sausage Party at 4 and Kubo at 5.
Okay, I'm
Yes.
putting. Um,
You need me to talk so you can see the screen?
Number one, I'm putting Hands of Stone. Uh,
I wrote it. It's a fact. It's in.
no, it's not there. Never mind. Which I want to know what that box office, what it's made so far. But
Nothing.
I'm gonna look that up so far. Yeah, one has got to be Sully. Don't Breathe and Suicide Squad. Then I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Kubo,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna go The Light Between Oceans. That I hope will get some.
Interesting.
I'm hoping will make more its second weekend than Sausage Party does.
I mean,
Is the thought there because I'm thinking, I don't know.
it makes like it it makes sense, but it doesn't. Like I
Yeah,
don't. Yeah. The
it's one of those weird things.
uh, only in 2016.
Only 2016 where you put a movie out that put in the back where it's been out for 3 weeks and you're like, yeah, it's going to be something that just came out. Yeah,
Well,
no problem.
how do you explain Pete's Dragon jumping and taking third last week? Doesn't make any sense.
Hands of Stone was 20 on the weekend,
Oh,
so it was just behind Morgan, um,
oh,
which was just in between that and Hands of Stone was Southside with You, which is the story of it's the Obama movie about him and his
wow.
wife dating. And
Oh,
overall, Hands of Stone has made 3,600,000.
oh,
Wow. For a De Niro movie about boxing, I'm so disappointed
um,
in the world right now. So yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. Did you
I
see what number 12 was?
I probably did, but I don't remember it.
No Manches Frida. I'm guessing it's like a foreign film of some type. I don't know.
Now,
Maybe.
I tell you, the thing that intrigues me is Hell or High Water. I've
Yeah,
heard really good things about it, and it's kind of jumping. And
yeah. It's made. Wow, it's made 14 million so far. And
yeah,
that's its 14. It's its fourth week.
yeah. So I'm hoping it just gets see normally by normal independent standards, it would go away now. But
Yeah,
if it keeps getting like press
yeah,
and ticket sales, it'll get more screens. So I'm kind of hoping that so I could go out and see it at some point.
yeah.
Of
You could
course.
totally because things like Bad Moms and War Dogs and Mechanic and stuff are all going to drop off,
Hmm.
and assuming it because of the word of mouth, like it may actually get actually even higher than ninth, or at least stay roughly there. So
Right. It's got
that's interesting.
phenomenal numbers.
Yeah,
It's strange how 2016 so far is the year of the horror and the year of the independent movie. I
independent
mean,
film and the superheroes, but we already knew that.
yeah, they're tired. They're so tired.
Yeah, but they make money.
Yeah,
It's
no, I know.
like
I
they're
know.
all money freaking. Even
It's
Suicide Squad, which
I'm
people
a
say they don't
teenager.
like.
Here's money. Here's
Yeah,
money. Teenager money. Food money.
like Don't Breathe cost nine under 10 million to make, and it's made 51 million.
Just printing money.
So
Just printing
that
money.
is decent. That's like, hey, we'll triple
Well,
layer.
that's
That's
I mean
that's 5 times your budget.
that's the horror guidebook. Save
Yeah,
money and you just turn
horror
around.
movies do not lose money. So
So I'm telling you this now publicly so that I don't forget and you don't forget and the viewers who are watching whatever don't forget. Next week when we talk about Sully, the weekend that was for this upcoming weekend, I'd like to talk about 3 movies that disappointed you in the summer of 16 and 3
okay,
movies that pleasantly surprised you in the 2016 summer. So
okay.
there's that. Other than that, you have anything else for us on this occasion?
No, I do not. I'm done.
How much money do you think you'll have next week?
Me personally, actually, I get paid. So um, most of that goes out right away. So probably roughly what I got now,
Yeah.
which is not enough to go see Sully. So,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah.
there's that. I'm sorry if I, make anyone, nervous because I talk about finances, but screw it. I'm trying to be an adult once upon a time, and I'm trying to be an adult for my daughters. Take a drink.
Drink. All right. So, yeah,
But yeah.
and it seems like the chat has never really picked up this week, which means
Yeah,
Jim wasn't with us today. That's what that means. When Jim's in there, the
he
chat's
stirs the
popping.
pot. And
Um,
half the time they don't talk about anything about what
oh
we're
yeah,
talking about.
they'll be talking about what the next lunar landing is.
Yeah.
Uh, but so for Peter, IMCP. We will see you with hopefully some news about a movie that made money.
Yeah.
Say goodbye, Peter.
Goodbye, Peter.